Good morning, guys. Alessandro, welcome. Balas, welcome, guys. Hope you all had a lovely weekend. Gold gapped up a lot over the weekend. Expected though. Definitely was expecting to come to the charts this morning and see gold near the 2000 sort of level. Insane push. You can see, yeah, just insane. Nick, good morning. Welcome. Welcome, Tony. Good morning. Alana, welcome. Just gonna go over GJ and gold, guys. Just give it 2 minutes and we can get into it. But yeah, hope everyone had a great weekend. I had a reset from the charts last week. It was actually a really good week, to be honest with you. Traded late Friday, traded NFP. Was with one of the members for NFP, and yeah, didn't get that volume at NFP as the news came out, but got it about half an hour later and ended up catching. Let's just, where was NFP? Yeah, ended up catching most of this move up, which was great. Absolutely amazing. Was, yeah, the news only came in, I think I was talking about it on stream. We had the buy stop set just above 1951. It was about that level, and news came in and it was, yeah, absolutely beautiful. I think we pushed up 70 or so pips. So yeah, great Friday, great way to end the week. It's going to be a crazy week. Definitely is going to be a crazy week, I feel like. I mean, now that we're in the 2000s for gold, there's, yeah, not much stopping us. The situation is not getting any better, to be honest. So things are probably just going to get worse. Okay, let's just quickly, we have 10 minutes until London Open. We are rejecting that resistance. Let's do a full breakdown on GJ. Members, I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch the Sunday webinar last night, but there was pretty interesting stuff. Basically exactly what we spoke about on or what I spoke about on gold has ended up happening. I don't like on GJ how last night the liquidity provider was providing a more accurate weekly and daily candle, but now it doesn't seem to be. Just gonna see. Yeah, it's not great, but let's just use forex.com. Okay, so if we're going to be talking about the weekly on GJ, you can see that we are very bearish in market structure. Last week was an extremely bearish week. Based on the sort of range that we're in, you'll see if we go, I'll pop up to the monthly time frame, but this is kind of the weekly range. You can see we're respecting this resistance. We have multiple times, 4 or 5 times, tapped into it and then come back down and respected it. So we know that's a very strong resistance level. So when we formed resistance at that previous level, we should have known, okay, there is going to be that strong chance of bearish continuation. Now, we are obviously coming down towards the bottom of the range. We're about halfway down. What we can be expecting this week is a possible retest of this support area and then possibly form resistance on the higher time frame. So maybe 1 or 2 daily bullish candles or weak bullish candles, maybe even 1, and then continue the drive down. And then once we break the weekly low, it's kind of bombs away down to about 149, I would say. That is just what I'm thinking if we are going to continue bearish, because obviously we have the clean candles to the left. So I would say also look, if we go up to the monthly time frame, we are ranging on the monthly. Obviously range on the monthly time frame still provides us with a lot of trading opportunities on the lower time frames, but you can see we're respecting this resistance level, respecting that support level. We have formed resistance on that monthly resistance, so we could be coming down to maybe 150, maybe not 149, but maybe 150. I can now pop down to the daily time frame. This way we can start looking at some possible zones which we could be reacting at. You can see we are at this daily level of rejection. Resistance was once formed on that daily level, so this is where we could start possibly forming some support. And then, like I said, 1 or 2 daily bullish candles, possible reaction at this resistance. So that's going to be your break and retest, form some resistance, this support. Form some resistance on that support and then retest this low and possibly create a new low. Very, very similar to what we did a little bit earlier on last week, where we formed a low, came back up, retested a level, retested the low, and created a new low. So we're looking at that exact same idea, but maybe not such a far pullback. We might only come up a little bit more and then continue and break the daily low, which is also going to be a break of last week's weekly low. So that's what I'm looking at. You can also see we have the clean candles to the left, clean daily candles. So if we have clean higher time frame candles and then we can line those up with the clean low time frame candles, that's where we'll find our entry points. Market structure on the daily, of course, is still bullish. We know that that's our high point which created it, but our trend is most certainly bearish. You can just see how much seller's pressure there is in the market. But yeah, weekly bearish, daily bullish, bullish by pure technicals, but I would still say just based on this bearish. 4 hour time frame, this is where we can start marking out some supports and resistances. You can see we have obviously formed now 4 hour resistance. We've also formed 4 hour support. So you can see this is where we'll start. You saw GJ on the low time frames was forming a range, and this is exactly why you can see these 4 hour candles. Lots of wicks at the top, lots of wicks at the bottom. Once we break though below that 4 hour support level, you can see we have clean 4 hour candles to the left. So what I would be doing in this situation, is marking the low of those clean candles, and then again we can mark that in white because that's where our TP sort of area is going to be. Market structure once again bearish on the 4 hour. So lots and lots of seller's pressure in this market. You can just see because of how bearish Friday was. Again, this was on, if we looked at that daily retest, remember we had that resistance level, we came back up and retested it once we had created our low, then we retested that low, created a new low. So now what I'm expecting is a possible retest of this 4 hour support, turn it into resistance and retest the low which we're creating now. Again guys, I'm not much of a pullback trader, so I know lots of people will be hopping onto that idea of buys back up to this support level before it turns into resistance and comes down, but that for me is classed as counter trend trading. Some people call it trading a pullback and will try scale into buys on the way up. Again, not my idea at all. I don't like trading like that. I like to trade with the trend. So rather let us create the low, get a pullback, and then just get those trades back down to retest the low, because we often will retest a low or a high once we've created it. 30-minute time frame. This is where we can obviously fine tune our zones and get those real clean candle areas while trading zones. You can see we've just come up to this resistance level more or less and rejected it. This will be a resistance level on your lower time frames obviously. But what I would say is, to be safe, I'll just mark the top of these wicks, because obviously all we want is clean candles to the left. We are coming back down, respecting the range. Obviously we need to adjust our bottom zone as well now, and this is our range. So now we've established in between 152.233 and 151.471 price is consolidating. We do not want to get involved in price within this sort of area. There's no point in trying to trade this. This is just consolidation and is, you know, highly risky to trade. Now obviously we had the clean candles down to 151.107 on the 4 hour time frame, but how clean is that range looking on the 30-minute time frame? So this is where we need to go back and take a look at possibly adjusting our TP area. You can see we eventually got there. You can see that, okay, there is still clean candles, but not all the way down to that 4 hour level. So what we'll do in this situation is adjust our zone and move it up. It still gives us a really good trading range. This is about 22 pips worth of range. So 22 pips worth of clean candles, clean trading range to the bottom side. So that's going to be hopefully some pretty easy sells with the trend once we get back below that level. And then if we're going to be looking for possible not buy continuations, possible counter trend buys, again, I think maybe if it is going to be those retest sort of buys, it's going to come up to maybe 152.663 and then come back down. And again, I will not be looking for the buys above this level. I'm just marking it out because obviously there is clean price action to the left, and we could have that pullback to then come back down. If we, like I said, that daily time frame structure, I wouldn't say is too important at the moment, but what I have right now is a 3v1 bearish, making sells my bias. So I know that I'm only going to be looking for sells, whether that's going to be from this point up here or below this point down here. It's obviously going to be up to how the candles form and what the candles tell me. And then again, it's just waiting, being patient. I know where I don't want to take a trade, and I know where I do want to take a trade. So that is trading made very, very simple. We know where we want to trade, which is going to be below here. And if you are a cowboy, it's going to be above here. So not in here for me. So yeah, that's my gold. My GJ outlook. And yeah, I suppose now we just got to wait for London Open. take a look at the charts that are coming through in the Telegram in 2 seconds, guys. Check Telegram quickly. We have a chart from Nick, which is gold. Yeah, I was also looking at gold just now. Obviously, we have the buys above the highs which were created. At the moment, we could be retesting those highs. Yeah, obviously, we've pushed quite a lot already. This was our resistance, sort of, or safer resistance area. So yeah, above here, we do have the clean range. Can see where we're coming from though. So this, anyone who asks when do I take impulses and when do I feel comfortable with impulses, this is a perfect example of when I do not feel comfortable with an impulse, because this candle, the technical stop loss level is 100 pips away. You can see how much price is pushed. Now look, obviously with the current market conditions, there's a very good chance that it does just go and retest that high. It's very, very likely, but in my opinion, it's not worth taking that risk, because again, I don't have a technical stop loss. What you could do is base it on the 15-minute, but then again, your stop loss is still 30 pips. So do you want to take that risk? This candle also didn't have a top wick. For me, just too many confluences lining up against me. But again, I do know how strong and bullish gold is at the moment, obviously because of the fundamentals. So that's that. But if this was just normal market conditions, this is not where I would be taking an impulse at all. But there's a very good chance that it does retest the high. Very risky sells below 1976, not interested. Nice that you mark that out. Yeah, you have the clean candles, but it's just, you know, taking sells again in this gold market is just, it can't, so you know, you're asking for trouble with that. But yeah, these buys above this level, again, quite risky. Would have been nice to get a candle close and then that solid confirmation, but otherwise let's just look for further buys above 2000. And then we had an Alessandro chart coming in, 2 actually. So you're looking for possible buy above 152, 160. It will be counter trend because all time frames are bearish in market structure, but still possible with London volume and good range to the left. So yeah, that's what we were talking about with those possible very risky buys above that 152, 160 level. Just got to obviously watch out for that trend and how much bearish momentum there is in this market. And obviously, you can see, you did say that this analysis was an hour ago. You can see how much we have started to come down. And then obviously no trade range, perfect. Sells below 151, 470, perfect. Really like that. Very clean idea, nice clean chart. And you have an exact sort of idea of what you want to do. You know what, this isn't a bad candle close. Lots of range. Sorry guys, just eyeing out gold at the moment. Blip, welcome, welcome. Yeah, I hope you had a great weekend as well. Just taking a look at gold. Want to see if we, now that we're forming this bottom wick, if we do start pushing up and breaking these highs. I think I'm possibly setting a buy stop at the break of this current high. What sort of closures would you ideally like to see on GJ below 151.471? Well, it would just, in my opinion, it's just going to be a nice strong bearish candle close. You can see what I want to see before though is us rejecting these sorts of levels, because you can see we are trapped in a consolidation. So I want to see us come down nicely, maybe a bit of exhaustion before we get down here. I don't really want us to push all the way down and then try to take an entry at the break, because then we've pushed quite far. So what I want us to see is a possible push down to the bottom of this range, then come back up to possibly these levels, retest the support within the range, turn it into resistance, and then start coming down. And then I want to see that candle close, and then the next candle wick up and break the low of the previous candle. That's going to be an ideal entry. That's going to be our type B entries. Otherwise, if we do get that impulse and it's not an impulse that I'm comfortable enough with, what I'll do is let it create a new low, pull back, form some resistance, and sell back down to the lows. At the moment, though, very interested in gold. It did seem like we were going to start coming up, but it seems like it's doing a proper retest of this zone. Again, I think I'm going to have a buy stop set at 1993.55. We have pushed a lot, guys, so this is could be a typical example of exhaustion. This candle itself was 100 pips. So just be careful of that. Nice one, thanks. No problem, no problem. Of course, it is worrying me a little bit of how big this stop loss is going to be. Not ideal in the slightest. It's London Open as well though, so we should get some volume. One hopes. Okay, we're coming up now. Ideally want to form some 5-minute support now, because then we are forming 5-minute support at that level of resistance and then start moving up. Don't really want to break this 5-minute low, because that means our stop loss level is just getting extended even more, giving us a bigger stop loss. So that's not going to be ideal either. But let's just sit and wait now, guys. There's not much we can do except for that. Yeah, this is, you know, if price does eventually come back up, this is going to be a huge stop loss, 42 pips. Can you show us how you decide if the market is bullish or bearish on the daily and weekly time frames? I can show you briefly. You know, that's quite a big part of the course, so I don't really, some people pay for that, so I don't really want to give that all away. But you know, I talk about it a lot. Weekly is very easy. You just look at the past. You look at the past weekly candle. The daily is obviously you look for that high or low. You identify the high or low, and then you identify the 2 or more candle pullback. That pullback is obviously the most important factor, because that pullback is telling us where exactly price created that high or low from, and then once we exceed that, that's where our transition is going to be. Otherwise, if we haven't exceeded that point, that is going to be our market structure determined. Trend is also very easy. You know, well, I spoke about it last week. Bottom left to top right, top left to bottom right. There's your trend. Actually chatted to someone that has also been trading for quite a while yesterday about this current London Open situation, and he's also noticed a lot that our London Open volume is coming in about 15 to 20 minutes after the market open, whereas it used to be immediate volume. As the market's open, we would get these rush of sort of pushes bullish or pushes bearish. Now it's much slower. It takes about 15 minutes. It's almost like the markets are registering all the prices and the news, and then the volume comes in later once it's been registered. It's almost like a delayed reaction. But yeah, this is just where you have to, once you've picked up on that, you just have to apply that to the way that you trade, obviously, and just be fluid in the markets. Gold messing around just a little bit. Oh yeah, by the way, guys, if we are looking at fundamentals for this week, today and tomorrow is nothing. There's nothing important happening today and tomorrow, other than obviously the war. But based on what Forex Factory has to offer us, all the other standard news, there is nothing important. Wednesday is where our first sort of important bit of medium to high impact news comes in, and that's going to be obviously affecting the dollar. So if you are trading gold, Wednesday is when you need to be worried. Of course, there is basically high impact news 24/7 now with Russia, Ukraine, but otherwise other news, there is CPI coming in on Thursday, and we all know CPI and unemployment claims are one of the high volume sort of news events, fundamental events. So definitely something to look at trading if you are feeling comfortable enough to trade those fundamentals. I think it would be quite good. So yeah, we're gonna have to take a look. Apparently petrol could go up 40 Rand a litre. Is that and diesel as well or not? Because I have a diesel car, luckily. Petrol goes up 40 Rand a litre. That's gonna be ridiculous. Actually didn't read about that. Yeah, 40 Rand a litre, that's basically 200%. Filling up your car is soon gonna add up to the amount of a car. Crazy. So are you saying like it's gonna go up an extra $40, Nick, or is it gonna be $40 per liter? Because if it's gonna go up an extra $40, that's putting on 60 a liter. $40, that's still ridiculous. Yo. Let's see what else. Gold needs to form this 5-minute support. Then I believe we can continue pretty easily. We just need to see how this 5 minutes is going to close. And we have 2 minutes for that. GA is coming down nicely. Break of this flow, yeah, no trade range for me. Pair blisters on me foot after me down walk. Alana, I could be wrong, but you're from Jamaica, right? I think Zeems told me that you're from Jamaica. Okay. Come on, gold. Considering a buy trade on gold on 50-minute could be a good break and retest on the previous resistance. Yep. So looking perfect on the 30-minute as well. You know, we're retesting that. 50-minute, yeah, we're sort of moving up quite nicely now. I did get quite slipped on my buy stop though. Shit. Just need to see how to manage this trade now. Nice 5-minute candle close, to be honest with you. Just need to break that 15-minute high. Okay. Looking much better. Got slipped 6 pips. My entry is at 94.05 and I set my buy stop at I set my buy stop at 93.55. Probably gonna trail my stop loss at this point. Just gone about 10 pips up. But yeah, that's perfect. We'll secure some there. Stop loss gonna move to break even at this point. Secured at about 22 pips, guys. Amazing. Amazing, amazing move. Even though this is, you know, yeah, 6 pip slippage, 6 pip slippage. But yeah, just amazing. I'm about 30 pips up right now. We can maybe come to this point. This will be about 40 pips on the runner. If I can get to 1998.35. Thank you, Blip. Thank you, thank you. So this is your type B, guys. Perfect, perfect. This is exactly what a type B is taught like, exactly how I look at a type B. What I'll go through it now, just while this runner runs. Hopefully it doesn't get stopped out. If it does type thing. But I secured my first part of the position so later on that if the runner doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It's fine. So basically what we had was a candle close above resistance, right? So what that indicates is that the resistance is not being respected. We are also in an extremely bullish market. Like I said, when we did our breakdown on GJ and gold, I was only looking for buys on gold. Gold is bullish, trending bullish, market structure is bullish, fundamentals are bullish. I was not looking for anything else but buys on gold. Obviously, we had created this high, we created a pullback, and now we're coming up to retest this high. So what I was looking for was obviously how can we find an entry to retest this high that's going to be a high confirmation. Well, this was perfect. What happened was we got the candle close above the resistance. This next candle wick down. What this does is it's retesting. This wick obviously provides us with a technical stop loss level, but what more importantly, what it's doing and telling us is that on the lower time frames, it's retesting, turning resistance into support. And I'll show you that on the 5 minute. You can see we had resistance. Look what we did on resistance. Turned it into support. So now that we had formed support, and that is our retest. Now entries are obviously going to be at the break of this candle high, as that's a confirmation. I know price did break that high earlier, but it would have broken it so early on that what I like to see is price not breaking that candle high within the first minute or so, because obviously then we hadn't performed the proper retest and then we came back up. So yeah, absolutely couldn't have asked for more. Obviously at the beginning we were quite far down just because of where the amount of slippage that I had. I got slipped 6 pips. So as I saw that trade enter, I looked on my terminal here and saw where the entry was. I wasn't too happy about it, but it's worked out all right. Gold's also coming down really nicely. So yeah, if anyone else took that trade, I would expect any of the members in the chat to have taken that trade, because that is absolutely, you know, that's textbook type B. Can't have really asked for much better. How do you tell exactly how many pips you got slipped? Well, I had my line marked and it was at the top of the candle at the point, I think it was over here. So I had this way I had my buy stop set was at 1993.55, and then I'm looking here and my entry and my entry is on 1994.05. So, you know, just take your thing, you know, 5.7 pips, 6 pips. If that's a type B, then type A must be fire. You got slip 2. Yeah, well, we use the same broker, Nick, so you should have only been slipped the exact same amount as me, about 6 pips. But again, yeah, it was... Can't have really asked for much more, to be honest with you. What a way to start the week. 21 pips is where I secured my initial 80%. My runner is still currently in. Have a TP set at about 40 pips for me, which we are currently coming up to. I'm about 30, 31, 29 pips up here. If we come back into the 30s, may just secure another partials on this runner. Maybe half, because it's a 2 lot left in. GJ is looking pretty good to continue bearish, and gold could be creating some new highs throughout the day, possibly at New York. I'm just gonna secure some more on this runner. That's fine. So you end up getting about 30 pips on that. Well done anyone else who got that. I did even give a bit of a hint beforehand. I said, I think 2 or 3 times I got a buy stop set at the break of this candle high. Thank you, Velas. Thank you. Did you manage to catch that or not? Alessandro, yeah, you did talk about considering the buys above the 15-minute level, so as well that would have also been same sort of area, although if you were taking at the break of the 15-minute high, it would have maybe been a little bit higher, but yeah, would have caught that, so well done, Alessandro. Balas got 15 pips, great job. Nice to see that you guys are catching these trades as well and seeing them before they even happen. Very, very happy about that. See if there's any news coming out. So here's that stuff about the oil prices going up. Please guys, if you haven't already, do remember to leave a like on the stream. It really does help the channel. I would have liked the previous 50-minute candle to close, sell, and a minimum of low wick with the current 50-minute candle, but that's okay. Yeah, I mean the 30-minute was very high confirmation, to be honest with you. Nice close above resistance with this candle over here, and then obviously this next candle performed the retest, which on the 5-minute candle we saw that lower time frame support right over here, perfect, and then the next candle just went. And we all know once gold goes, doesn't look back. Very interested to see how low we can actually go on GJ. I think some people may have taken the risky sells on GJ, just based on the fact that we did kind of close below this support and then wicked up and then broke the low and then just anticipating volume to push us through. But yeah, this was a no trade range for me. Still is a no trade range, because obviously I would not be, if we do respect the lows of this range, I would not be looking for buys to retest the highs of the range. But what I will be looking for is possible retests, possible new lows created, and that's going to play into our potential sells below 151.471. Got some nice 20 pip range to trade into. But yeah, really nice trade. Just go see. This is that monthly low, the monthly low of the range. If we break below, if things really do start coming down on GJ, and then we do fill this 151 range, then I think we could be looking for some continuation sells below 151.169, and in that case you can see all the clean range that we have here. Which range is this to trade into? 35 pips worth of range. So definitely something to look at. Also broke the monthly high on gold. So we might be coming to full this monthly sort of level. If we start hitting the high 2000s, like, or sorry, that just before 2100, then I think we're gonna be doing pretty well. So we are respecting this resistance level, which means I think later on there still is obviously that possibility if we do now maybe stall a little bit, have a little bit of a pause, and then we can create that new high and continue this upward trend. Because yeah, guys, we are very, very bullish on gold. Please, no one tell me you're considering sells. Perfect 1 hour candle close as well. Retest on the 1 hour. Just all the time frames lining up for that gold trade. yeah, I think that, certainly think that GJ is interesting me a little bit more than gold now. I actually want to see on gold if we do have price registering below above that high, so I can see what our clean candles are looking like if we are going to create new highs. Okay, so we don't. So kind of trading a bit blind at the moment if we do create new highs, but then I'll be looking at candle formations, candle confirmations, and certainly higher time frame. Could be forming nice strong bullish support. Coming down on GJ. After the 70 pip drop, would you consider sell below 151 for 70 after closure, or maybe it's better to wait for a pullback? Well, certainly, yeah, definitely be waiting for the closure, and if it does close below, then I will be looking for that again, a type B once again, which is going to be our candle close, retest, and then continuation. Because obviously we do have a lot of volume in the market at this time. We can see these candles are very, very strong candles. Just looking at the way that they're forming, nice strong bearish, and we'll see how this one closes. Of course, there is a risk of exhaustion, so we could see a pullback, but what may happen is we get a pullback on the lower time frame, so let's hope for maybe a 5-minute pullback. Same situation that happened on gold, maybe two bullish 5-minute candles, and then the retest is complete once we form that resistance on the 5-minute. So I will still be looking for the sells, but we do just need to be aware that we have pushed quite a lot. And I do want to see, because when this candle closes, it's also going to be a 1-hour candle close. So that will be a strong indication. We may just break through though. $20 until this candle closes, and then we probably will, actually no, I won't say anything before the candle closes. Wow. Bitcoin is not having it. any long-term Bitcoin holders, this is not a good sign. Sitting on the daily support for our, I think it was in the Discord, yeah, it must have been in the Discord call when I was saying we need to mark out our levels on Bitcoin and whichever one it breaks through, because normally when Bitcoin starts ranging, it's if it breaks above or below after the range, it's very similar to gold. The longer it ranges for, the more it's just gonna explode out of the one direction, and you can see that this was, you know, perfect type B, to be honest, on the 4 hour. perfect. Candle close, wick up, clean candles to the left, broke the low, and we've been coming down ever since. Interesting. Exactly why we wait for the candle close, guys. Exactly. Anyone taking impulses, you know, they are going to be enjoying nice 10 or so pip drawdown right now. So we just got to be patient. Very patient. Now we're coming down again. Yeah, still not interested. Got to wait for that candle close. If what that means is that the move ends up happening, guys, it's fine. If we miss this initial push and we create a new low, all we have to do for, and this is what I always say keeps me away from that FOMO of trying to chase a trade or trying to hop into a trade late or thinking, oh no, I've missed a trade, is that whenever we create a high or a low, and let's say we're waiting for a type B entry, so a break and retest based on the low time frames, and we miss it, and what it becomes is a type A, so where it's one clean move down, all I'm thinking of at that point is, okay, we're creating a new low, I've missed the move, that's fine. I know price is going to pull back at some stage, I know we're going to come back and retest this level of support, and if we are trending bearish, if there are a lot of sellers in the market, I know for a fact that we are going to at some point form resistance after retesting, and then that's where I'm going to get those moves to retest low, scale into those moves as we form resistance, and then start making our way back down to retest this low, and then that's probably going to lead to us creating new lows. He's so clever. Yeah, I am. I'm joking. Thanks, Ronan. Ronan, don't you have university to be focusing on? Oh, even Declan's here. Oh yeah, you have afternoon lectures. I need to take Ronan and Dex as moderator, where you guys are I think this is Dex. Is this your first stream you've been to in who knows how long? The fuck am I facing? Been watching for a while, just don't chat. Don't believe you. Maybe you were watching today, Dex. What's happened on the last like 3 streams? There was a type B trade earlier, yeah. GJ's goners. And that's fine. Yeah, I know, Ron. I'll send you a message. Okay, well, I suppose that the opportunity for that move is kind of gone, guys. Like I said, what I'm going to be waiting for now is a low to be created, retest of this previous support level, maybe even a little bit higher, and then retest that low. So I will, or am only looking for sells on GJ throughout the day. Took 1 gold trade already this morning. You know, that was definitely my best trade. Well, I have only taken 1 trade this week. One of my favorite trades I've taken in a while, except for the slippage, obviously. That wasn't ideal. So I hope that everyone has a good rest of their day. I think that's going to probably be me. Sorry, let me just answer this question from Blip. In your trading experience, which of the 2 sessions has been better for you, US or London? For me personally, I'd say personally London, but as of late, most definitely the New York Open. New York has been insane recently, especially this year and towards the end of last year. London seems to be blowing hot and cold at the moment. You can see today there was a lot of volume, nice clean moves, but I would certainly say current market conditions, definitely New York or US Open. But yeah, I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day. Appreciate all the support. Please leave a like on the stream before you go. And I'll see you guys all exact same time tomorrow. GJ is obviously continuing down, which is great. And yeah, have a great day, guys. See you all same time tomorrow. Oh, just a reminder as well, there is no stream on Thursday, Friday, or Monday this week. It's all going to be Discord calls. I am going away. So please just remember that. But tomorrow and Wednesday, there will still be streams. So just Thursday, Friday, and Monday. But yeah, appreciate the support, guys, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Cheers. Cheers, Alana. Cheers, Nick. Thanks.